primary language is Spanish because I'm from Mexico. So let me teach you one word in Spanish or one expression, okay? It's gonna be good morning in Spanish. Buenos días. You see? It's easy learning a second language. A third, a fourth, as long as you're laughing. As long as you're laughing. Look at everybody around you, start laughing. Go, look at everybody around you, laugh. Come on, laugh out loud, I want you to laugh. Okay, I need you to laugh. Actually, if you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. Excellent. You know what happens when you laugh? You clap once, you clap twice, blood goes to the brain. It's that simple. Blood to the brain is like water to a plant. You don't water it, it dies. You want to teach it once, you need blood in the brain. That's why you should stop and have him laugh, have him clap, get up, sit down, and you know what? It's not just for little children. All of us need some kind of movement in order to learn. And since I wanted you to learn, I now have some blood in the brain, so let me just double check. If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. Now, I want you to get into groups of 4 to 6, and you have 30 seconds. Look for 6 friends. 6 people, look around, meet them, shake hands, shake hands. 6 people, move. If you need to move, you need to move. Okay? No less than 4. 4, 6, 8, no more than 8. Excellent. So now in your groups, in your group of 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 people, everybody has one? Any orphans out there? No orphans? Okay, good, because I only have 45 minutes. Okay, now I want you to count around the group, and not count, I'm sorry, go A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B, go. A, B, A, B, A, B, excellent, you guys are good. Now, all the A's, raise your hand. B's. A. B. A. B. You look like fools. You look like fools. Okay, so we're set. So my classroom is set. By the way, I am Hector Ramirez, and that's in English. Hector Ramirez is in Spanish. And that's a joke. I'm really happy to be here in Korea, South Korea. This is wonderful. The last time I was here was it was 32 years ago. 32 years ago, so most of you were not born yet. So it's very exciting. I think South Korea is eager to become English speakers or English as a second language. And the reason why I say that, because it's at the airport, on the taxi, at the hotel, everybody wants to speak English. They were like asking questions and really wanted to talk to me, you know, even the bellman. I know he wanted a tip, but I was like, okay, I get it. I know how to turn the lights on. I know how to turn the lights on. You can leave now. No, I could tell they wanted to speak English. Okay, so they're eager to speak English. Bilingualism is good, and English, we don't learn it because Americans speak it, or Australians or Brits. We learn it because it's the international language. It's an international language. And whether it is for work, or because you're on Facebook, you need English. Hollywood English. You know, 50 cents sings in English. Okay, so children want to learn English. By the way, I'm from Mexico, and we have somebody else from Mexico here, so it's nice to meet compatriota. But I'm really happy here. What I want to do with you for the next 40 minutes is really activate your desire to learn. Activate your desire to learn. Because whether we're young learners, whether we're in middle school, high school, college, we're still children. Did you know that the brain stops developing or pretty much gets to a maturity, not till your early 20s? So the brain takes a long time to develop. That's why I always say don't get married before 25. You don't have maturity to get married, okay? So that said, activate the desire to learn. I taught kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade. In a school where we had 1,500 children, 800 did not speak English, yet they were tested in English for reading, science, social studies, math, etc. So what did we have to do? Activate their desire to learn. Very simple. Write that down. It's a book. Bob Sulo wrote it. Bob, B-O-B, Sulo, S-U-L-L-O. Activating the desire to learn. How simple? Activate it. But you better be laughing, clapping, and standing up and being kinesthetic. And since I want you to be activated right away, please think, connect. I want you to connect with this picture. You all have previous background. Look at that picture, connect. I want you to think about that picture. What do you know about this picture? Actually, I want you to think about 5 words. Any 5 words related to this picture. 5 words related by association. If you were to put out a word list related to that picture, what would those 5 words be? Just think. Oh, I can hear the noise. You see, this is good thinking. You connect, you think. Now I want you to think like a mathematician. All you see up here is mathematics. Mathematics. All you see is mathematics. Symmetrical. Prediction. How many petals are there? Okay, I want you to think mathematical, you see? It's beautiful. I know it's beautiful, but I want you to think like a mathematician. Actually, I want you to think like a scientist. All you see up here is science. Can you think of 3 to 5 words related to science? How many of you feel this way? Hector, you're going too fast. And I used to tell my students, I'm not going fast enough. Okay? All we have to do is practice, practice, practice. Get engaged right away. You walk through that door, think, connect. Not only that, connect, think, talk, read, and write about it. That is brain-based instruction. Brain-based instruction means that we're going to take it, the objective, the standard, the purpose of that lesson, and we're going to connect, think, talk, read, and write about it. And it has to be done in a safe environment, an environment where the child feels comfortable, where they know their level and they know they're going to take that level to the next level and to the next level. Input +1, output +1. Input +1, output +1, I'm going to own it. And I'm going to own it because I don't feel this way. Actually, the teacher has created an environment where I can actually take a jump. Take a jump. And why is he jumping with such confidence? He feels safe. He feels
confident.
Excited. He feels happy. He feels, I don't know, she took my word. Think about it, I'll be back. He feels like a kid. He feels happy. Somebody already said happy, so why don't you 3 think of a little one? I'll be back. He feels confident.
Ecstatic.
And now you 3 work as a team. He feels like what? He feels like jumping. Very original. What did I just do? I came back. You see? I just came back. What was the message to the group? Accountability. He is coming back. So I better think, connect, think, and I better talk because he's coming back. Not only that, I start to see results. If I connect, think, and talk, then I do much better when I read about it, and then I totally do much better when I write about it. And guess what? The ultimate assessment is, can you write about it? And not just can you write about it, did you choose to write about it and include that vocabulary list, that language structure? Did you use that adjective the way you were taught? You know, is it right? Is it wrong? He's jumping with such confidence because he feels safe. Guess what? If you feel safe, you're going to use the language. If you use the language, you're going to own the language. Let me do that again. What's the importance of this safety net? That if I feel safe, whether you're in Korea, in Philippines, in the United States, because I'm not talking about just native learners or non-native learners. All learners need to feel safe in order to do what? Use the concept, it. If I use it, I own it. And that's what we want in the classroom, so we can accelerate instruction. Now, I want to thank Cambridge for inviting me to Korea, but I want to thank the sponsors that brought me here, which my sponsors were Houghton Mifflin Harcourt. Okay, Houghton Mifflin Harcourt, or HMH. HMH. What HMH and all of us want to do as teachers is what? Transition children faster and at grade level. Faster and at grade level. So they better be laughing, clapping. They better be engaged. They better be engaged, no matter what. Whether you're kindergarten, whether you're in 6th grade, 8th grade, 12th grade. If you're going to buy time, and who's the enemy of the teacher? Time. If you're going to buy time, you need to, they're not going to give you extra minutes. They're not going to give you extra minutes. What is the trick? How you use the minutes. How you use the minutes, you know how you buy time? If they feel safe. If they feel safe, they're going to take a risk. Use the language, own the language. If you want to buy time, you better be innovative. You better be a leader, a guide. You better be somebody that's there for them all the time, whether you're in the beginner stage, intermediate stage, advanced stage, or advanced high stage of English acquisition. That's what's going to help the transformation. That's what's going to help the transformation. Universal access. If I feel safe, it's because I know that the teacher will be there for me. Which means when we connect, think, talk, read, and write about it. Can you say that too? I'm going to count to 3, you need to say it, okay? Let me give you again. Connect, think, talk, read, and write about it. Go. Make it into a rap. Connect, think, talk, read, write about it. Okay? They've got to do this. Oh, you really want to do it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, what does that mean? That if they're going to have access to that information, that concept, whether again it's reading language arts, social studies, science, mathematics, religion, whatever it is that I need to learn, not just for today, not for the short term, for the long term. What do I need then? The teacher needs to adapt the instruction. The teacher needs to provide universal access in the classroom. What is universal access? Very simple. Multiple strategies, same objective. I have an objective for today. My 15-minute lesson, my 1-hour lesson, my 1-day lesson, my 1-week lesson. Doesn't matter how long it is. I have an objective. All children, all students have the right to learn the objective for the long term. Now, they still need to learn it. What changes is the strategy, not the objective, which means you need to have a lot of tools, lots and lots of tools in order to meet that need. And meet that need for content, when you use technology, and through professional development. That's how you get a lot of practice. And Professor Richards couldn't say it better. If you want it to become part of you, so that you do it automatically, you need to practice, practice, practice. So you can focus on the child and not on how you deliver the strategy. Delivering the strategy just becomes part of your ELT culture. I want everybody to think about what is culture. Think of 3 words that would explain culture. Culture is blank, blank, blank. Turn A, B, A, B. I want you to work in pairs. Culture is, give me 3 words that would explain the word culture. Culture is what? Okay, excellent. If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. Okay, I'm going to keep that clapping going. That clapping going is really important because I want you to be here with me. As I was walking around, and in the interest of time, I'm going to tell you what you're thinking. Culture. If I'm calling it ELT culture, what am I saying? Culture is what? My music, my food, my faith, how I dress, how I act, how I speak. I'm a Mexican American because I lived 25 years in Mexico and I've lived 25 years in the United States. Now you know my age. So I'm not kidding, I'm a Mexican American. I love it. Okay, so that's my culture. I don't think about it, I am. Yes? So I'm asking you to now embrace the ELT culture. Do you think about your faith? Yes, when you pray, but it's yours. Okay? You are who you are. So if ELT culture becomes part of that, then you don't think about it, you just exercise it. And that's why you need professional development, and that's why you need to embrace ELT, not tolerate it. Yes? And actually, I prefer not to call it ELT. Actually, I prefer to call it ELD. D as in dog, D as in David. English Language Development. ELT sounds sometimes like an excuse to me. EFL, ESL, oh yeah, they're not from a native country that speaks English. Okay, and they sound kind of Spanish, huh? Okay? No, English Language Development. Go as far as you can. No excuses. Yes, it's not their native language. Yes, it's not spoken here. Yes, it's a second language to them. Oh, they have a hard time with certain transferable issues. Oh, they commit the same error over and over again. Like Spanish speakers, we tell yolks. We forget to go yolk. Oh, that was a funny yolk. I go, really? What kind of egg was it? I'm like, no, that was funny what you said, teacher. I like it. You're very funny. I'm like, well, that wasn't a yolk. It was a yolk. Yolk. Okay? Common error. No problem. We'll work on it. I had a poster on in my classroom. It said, mistakes are welcome. Raise your hand if you have that poster. One person, 2, 3, 4. If I'm going to take a risk, use the language. To own the language, I need to feel safe. I need to make me safe. I need to know that mistakes will be welcome. I won't be judged. Not only that, I need to feel comfortable, confident, respected. And there's no better way to build respect, confidence, and team spirit than theater. Raise your hand if you're planning to do a lot of theater in your classroom. Please, everybody, raise your hand even though you're not going to. Theater in the classroom is key. Now, you're in your groups, huh? 4, 6, 8, how many you came up with? I want everybody to think. Don't talk, think about an animal, any animal at all, think. And be creative, and I don't want 100 dogs or cats. Think something very creative and unique. Think of an animal, very creative and unique. Now, I want you to choose who's been teaching the longest in your little group. Find out. The longest and the shortest. Go. Longest and shortest in your group.
Thank you.
Don't talk about your animal. You're only talking about who's been teaching the longest and who's been teaching the shortest. You have 15 seconds. 14, 13, 12. You have 10 seconds. Excellent. Okay. The person that has been teaching the longest, stand up. You've been teaching the longest in your group, stand up. Drop your purses and your books, drop it all. Because I want you now to act out that animal to your group. Act it out. Come on, act it out. Go. Act it out. Keep acting. Don't talk. Keep acting. Keep acting. If they got it, sit down, but if they didn't, keep acting. Everybody got it? You see? Now that you're laughing, that you're activated, the blood has rushed to your brain, you're ready to learn. Now I can move into cause and effect. Now I can teach you dividing with remainders. Now I can teach you the water cycle. Now I can teach you trigonometry. Now I can teach you philosophy, literature. Why? Because you are engaged. Your blood is ready to learn. I am buying time. I'm buying time. It's that simple. So rest assured that as we move forward, if we are to accelerate instruction and buy time, we need to avoid the silent period. We need to avoid invisibility. And yes, no doubt, Professor Richards mentioned there are different learning styles, different cultures and idiosyncrasies, different ways of looking at education and discipline. But I can tell you one thing, all children have the same cognitive ability. All children from all races have the same cognitive ability, and they all have the need to be awakened. And there's no better way, because children are children across the world. They need to be activated, active, proactive. If we don't do this, then silent period plus invisibility equals fossilization. Fossilization. They're not learning anymore, they plateau, they perpetuate errors. Why? Because they are invisible now. They're in the silent period. And there's no better way to accomplish this horrible result than a teacher that's not prepared to ask the child the right question at the right time for the right topic. And be ready to what? Give them a chance to think. If not, I'll be back. And did I come back? Yes, and they had an answer after all. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Let's give it a shot.